and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke na nke pụrụ m ihe niile Chukwu okike abịa onye na-efe na aja aha nsọ ya mma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị n'ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngọzi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro. Iwe nye anyị ndụ ala nke dị n'uwere n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị. Onye ọbụla anyị aka ike niile na ọ gbadara aka ya. Anyị wee na-akpọku gị na-asị gị na nke ọma anyị ga-ekele gị, nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee ezi oku mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwaa ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe n'ikpere anyị nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe. Agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ma ndị na-agba mgbagba ebe niile dị iche iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna n'ihere bụ nke ndị dị etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-eto gị, wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, onye ọbụla anyị a na-azọpụta, onye ọbụla naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na ọtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise ise ise.
Welcome, great Biafrans, lovers of freedom all over the world, wherever you are journeying from. I say, may Chukwu Okike Abia my guide and protect you, secure you and save you. Wherever you lay your hand shall prosper. Remember, we always come here to set the record straight. We don't preach hate speech. We don't talk down anybody. All we are calling for is unity. We are calling for self-determination, calling for freedom, and calling for the end to the contraption called Nigeria, because it is not established to favor anybody. The contraption called Nigeria was never built to favor anybody, not the Igbos, not the Yoruba, not the Hausas, not the Efik, not the Ijaw, not any indigenous tribe. The contraption called Nigeria was established for the benefit of the British. It is their company and not for the indigenous tribe. And Mazen Nnamdi Kanu brought this to our notice. He brought the message, he preached the gospel, and everyone had him clear. And today, we are all speaking up and fighting out for our freedom and asking for an end to this contraption called Nigeria that has come to destroy, to kill, and to steal from every one of us. The contraption called Nigeria is not there to do us any good. Today, that man who is fighting in the front for us to have our freedom, that man who has given it all to fight for you and I, he is in the hand of the DSS. After he was kidnapped in Kenya, tortured for 8 days, he was transferred to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition. And today, he is still facing torture in the hand of the DSS. And yet, we are calling for his freedom. Some people think it is too much to ask. For me, no sacrifice is too much to make to see that our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has been released. And everybody has to put their hand on deck. Biafran and Biafran friends. Not only Biafrans, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's struggle is not just for Biafrans. The fight of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will free Biafrans, free the Oduduwans, free every indigenous tribe in the country of Nigeria, and also in extension, every black race. Yes. Look at it critically. If you look at it closely, you will see that the fight Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is fighting is not just for the Igbos, not just for the Biafrans, not just for the Oduduwa people, not just for the Southerners, but for every black man in the planet Earth. He has explained this so many times. When he started initially, he was bringing the hard message to us. He preached and preached and preached. Even the Igbo Biafrans, where he comes from, they accuse him of several things. They accuse him of insulting. They accuse him of disrespect. But after a long message, the Igbo Biafrans begin to understand that yes, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has a point. And they all rallied around him. Today, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu enjoys the support of 95% of the Igbo people. They are behind him. He went ahead to begin to talk to every single Biafran, everybody living in the old Southern region. He preached the message. He hit them hard with hard word. So many of them say that he came to dominate them. So many of them call him an ethnic bigot. So many of them say he's trying to push Igbos against them. But at the long run, they came to understand that yes, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu had the message. He is saying the truth. And today, you see everybody in the old Southeastern region. It doesn't matter their tribe. Every single Biafran, they are rallying around behind Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Everybody. Go to every platform. It is all Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, simply because he is truthful and consistent. He didn't stop there. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu went and carried the message to Oduduwa brothers. When he started with Oduduwa brothers, it was a very hard message he brought. He hit them on different angles. So many people hated him for the message. So many people called him ethnic bigot, called him different kinds of names. So many people said he was planning division. Until after a long run, they began to understand that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu had a message, which is self-determination for every indigenous tribe in the contraption called Nigeria. That he wasn't only fighting for the Biafran people, he was fighting for everybody. And our Oduduwa brothers pick up the message. They pick up the message and they ran away with it. And today, they are standing strong, asking for self-determination of Oduduwa people. Oduduwa people are protesting on the same platform with Biafran people, holding their flag. Oduduwa holding Biafran flag, Biafran holding Oduduwa flag, asking for self-determination from this British enclave called Nigeria, a British company that have come to serve the purpose of Britain. They are all asking for self-determination. He went ahead and hit the middle belt. The middle belt today, they are asking for self-determination also. Even in the north, there are people in the north that are still talking of self-determination as we speak today. That is the work Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have done. He was able to achieve that because he was consistent in his word and he was truthful. Because each time Mazen Nnamdi Kanu brought that hard message, the first thing people have to do is to attack him. After the attack, they will go back and make research on what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is saying. Every single word Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have preached on Radio Biafra have been proven to be truth. That was why for many years, up to a decade, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have been broadcasting from London. He was never one day invited by British police. He was never one day arrested by British police. Until when he came to Africa, Africa being what they are, they connived with Britain. That same Britain who could not perform that evil in their land, they connived with Kenya and Nigeria and kidnapped Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and sent him to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition. Today, here are we. Everything that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have said is playing out before your own very eyes. But they can't stop him. The more they continue to hold Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the more his message continues to resonate in the life of every indigenous person in that country called Nigeria. What Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is preaching is the same thing that all those people who call themselves activists in Nigeria, it is the same message that they have. Today you see them, those of them who are politicians, who claim to be activists, even they are politicians, they will come out and tell you that they want a Nigeria where there will be justice, a Nigeria where there will be equality. But they know that you cannot have such a Nigeria because in the constitution of the British company called Nigeria, injustice is institutionalized. In such kind of company, how can you have justice? You can never find justice anywhere. You see them come on their conventional media, they will speak grammar and show you how many certificates they have got. They will tell you how long they have served. Some will tell you how old they are and the power they possess. They will come back and tell you that they want a Nigeria where there will be equity and justice. Ask them how. None of them have a clue or idea how such Nigeria can come to effect. That is the difference between them and our Sudan Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has fought for this very one Nigeria for a long time. He fought for this one Nigeria, but when he saw that there will be no solution that to a Nigeria that British created for their own purpose, not a country, that there will be no solution to a company that Britain created for themselves, except when you break up that company and establish a country. That is the only time you have a solution. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu began to ask for self-determination. And since then, he has never changed his message. Self-determination. Conduct a referendum for the indigenous people of Biafra. Conduct a referendum so that they can decide their fate. At the same time, any other person that wants a referendum, conduct a referendum. Let the people decide their fate. That is where Mazen Nnamdi Kanu stand. And people begin to buy into that message. They couldn't hold it. The Janjaweed and the Britain could not hold it. They went and kidnapped him. And today they want to shut him down. But they can't. The more they continue to hold Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the more the message continues to grow wider. The more the message continues to grow. How can you function in a contraption called Nigeria? A company that has been built to serve the purpose of Britain. How do you think it can ever serve anybody? A company that institutionalized injustice in their constitution. How can that kind of a country give you justice? It cannot. That is why when you say that the late Muhammadu Buhari and the imposter presently cannot respect the rule of law, How can they respect the rule of law when the constitution they are using is based on injustice? How do you expect the government to obey the rule of law when the constitution they are using is based on injustice? They cannot obey the rule of law. They will never. That is why the only way you can get saved from them is by force. That is language you understand. Go to their law court, you will get nothing. Many people have been granted justice in their court and they refuse. El Zazaki have been pronounced innocent and granted freedom several times. They refuse to leave him. They refuse to let him go. So many other people. Today, Showere is in captivity in Abuja. He can't move out of Abuja. He cannot meet his family. Even when the court know that he's innocent, they continue to adjourn his case and postpone and postpone. So many other people who has been granted freedom in their court, they refuse to let them go. Our student in 2005 was granted freedom several times. They refused to leave him until when the pressure become too high. The only language that the Janjaweed understand is the language of force. The rule of law doesn't work in that country called Nigeria, because injustice is in their constitution. And it's not just because I'm saying it. A senator has said it in their House of Senate that as long as Nigeria continue to use the constitution that they are using, that they will never know justice, they will never know peace, they will never know growth. Nothing will happen, no prosperity will happen in that country called Nigeria. A senator said it in the House of Senate, and yet they are still protecting that very constitution with the last drop of their blood. They can kill to protect that injustice. They kill to protect that injustice. It is because they want to protect that injustice. That is why they are destroying life in Biafra land. As you're watching this video, so many lives have been destroyed in Biafra land. People are running away from their village in Biafra land because they are asking for self-determination. As you're watching the video, many Biafran people have been killed. Many Biafran people are missing. As you're watching the video, they are still kidnapping. Hopus of them and the military are still killing, taking over lands in Igbo land. As you're watching the video, so many people are losing their life. Go to the southwest, the same thing, injustice everywhere. How can anybody continue to hold on this very contraption called Nigeria? But the most painful thing that you still see some people confusing themselves and deceiving themselves. Now they are preparing for 2023. 2023 that you know that we only bring more death and more suffering. It can never bring any prosperity to anybody. They know it. Every single one of them know that 2023 will never bring any progress to anybody in this contraption called Nigeria. It will not bring any progress. But yet, they are promoting it. They will tell you to go and get your PVC. That PVC is the solution. Even when they know that the PVC does not offer you any solution. It was the same PVC that brought the Muhammad Buhari. The same PVC that brought the Nigeria to where it is today. You can never get justice in an injustice. No. There's never a time you can get justice in a constitution that is based on injustice. You can never. It cannot happen. How do you intend to get it? But this is the deceit they continue to push out. I would like you to hear what Dele Faro to me had to say about the 2023 election. Even though Dele to me do not believe in 2023, but he doesn't have a solution. That is the difference between him and Mazen Nandikano. Every one of them that is activity. The difference between them and Mazen Nandikano is that Mazen Nandikano have a solution, but they don't have a solution. Listen to what he has to say.
I'm not shy about offering my opinions, but I'm always very reticent about dealing with persons. But it is inescapable that when a man has offered himself for public service, we are left with no choice but to contemplate their persons and necessarily offer value assessments, and in most cases, subjective opinions, because we're dealing with persons. But I would say that instead of focusing on the odiousness of the mass of those who have offered themselves, and they are mostly odious, it's been a gallery of rogues coming out to talk about wanting to be president of Nigeria, from the one who was convicted. Look, it's I recall that a few years ago I did warn that if we do nothing about restructuring our governance systems, the one that will come after Buhari will be worse than Buhari. And if you look at the gallery of rogues that have come out, it will be clear to you exactly what to expect. Let me start with the godfather of them all, the Lagos octopus. It wasn't always like this between me and him. He's never seen me before, never, not once. But when he was coming to power for the first time, I took night bus from Abuja to Lagos to come and vote for him. Prince Ademola Adeniji Adele, may God rest his soul, he was running as Sarumi's deputy. I slept in his house because his brother-in-law, my friend, lived in his house, and that was where I stayed whilst I was in the law school. I woke up in his house in the morning to go and vote. He was on his balcony, and he asked me, "Mandi, Odinlo Dibo Fumi Abi?" I said, "Ah, Papa, Emaro, AD all the way." Yeah, AD all the way. That was the mask. I voted him the first time he came around. It's one of the worst errors I ever made in my life, because I helped to birth today's monster. Now we have 22 years of his hegemony ruling over Lagos State, unchallenged, virtually untouched, unchallenged, supreme in Lagos State. His word is law. He rules the street, even as he rules the chambers, both of justice and of the legislature. What has he battered? He is effectively a dictator. He does as he pleases in Lagos State. There is a 22-year record to look at, and the record and the facts speaks for themselves. Res ipsa loquitur, we say in law. The facts speak for themselves. In the last 15 years, the road in and out of my neighborhood has been a construction site, building nothing but greed. A veritable tool for the pauperization of a people and the enrichment of an hegemony. They've killed for that toll gate on his watch, under his imprimatur. Now he wants to be president. When we are done looking at his 22-year record, which will be close to 24-year record by then, we will then look to his health, his mental capacity. 50 million soldiers, they will eat corn, they will eat cassava in the morning, and that's the person who wants to be president after the current disaster? Let's leave that man first. But let's deal with the system that has brought that actually emboldened someone like him. Nigeria would have deserved Bola Ahmed Tinubu if he ever emerges the president of Nigeria. Nigeria would have deserved him. It would have been, a well-deserved marriage. Because all the lies of this country would have come to coalesce together in the person of the president of Nigeria, if the like of him will become the president of Nigeria. I don't believe him a president, or rather a candidate. But because you've asked the question and he's the elephant in the room, let me leave his person to the side, and then let's deal with Pastor Agborin, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Brilliant man, intelligent in the extreme. But his record in the last 22 years would suggest that we should not conflate intelligence with wisdom. And perhaps we should stop presuming integrity until it is proven. He found the grace to be Tinubu's Attorney General, designing the architecture of the capture of Lagos State and its privatization. earned the trust of his capo as consigliere and became, whether they dispute how that came about or not, the route to the vice presidency runs through Bodilon in one form or the other. 8 years it would have been that I would have been vice president of Nigeria, strutting around defending Buhari in the face of the obvious. He has even said clearly that he wants to continue the agenda of his boss. Let's even assume, for argument's sake, that he's saying all those things so that he might not alienate his boss's supporters. Question is this: how does a man who has benefited so immensely from the system gain power and then presume to change the system? How? Let's leave Pastor Agborin for a second. I don't even believe a Yoruba man, whether we change the system or not, should be interested, at least for a season, in the primary office of the Nigerian state if it survives. Because it will be most unfair and inequitable to look beyond the land of the Igbos for the person that will be the titular head. I'm not looking for another monster in Aso Rock, but whoever is going to be the primary #1 citizen of Nigeria, at least for a season, that person has to be of Igbo extraction. Nobody with half a brain should be talking about it again. Why? Because equity demands it. But if we are now saying the Igbo should have it, who is the Igbo that should be having it? Is it a Rochas or Korocha, a most odious, vile human being whose only distinguishing feature as a governor was the erection of stupid statues and construction of roads that lasted just one reign? That one wants to be the man who is on record as saying that he became rich by serving Red Cross. Come on. That one, it shows you that the system only ever pushes forward the worst. Or is it all Jews or Kanu? The court effectively labeled, the court has effectively said he's a thief. But because of a technicality, they should go and retry him. That technicality will never be available to a poor man or to a member of the lower classes. But it is available to him as a member of the class of those to whom impunity is available. That is the one who wants to be president. It is the worst of Ndi Igbo that is showing forward in the empires. If any one of these persons become president of Nigeria, why would they be interested in restructuring Nigeria to give citizenship to the Nigerian? So you find very quickly that the system is throwing up what we should consider the very worst in replacement of what is already a disaster. Now, even if an angel somehow manages to gain office, let me use one of such angels as an example. Let's look at Kingsley Moghalu. Brilliant man, accomplished. He has spoken extensively to restructuring of Nigeria. But where is his plan? If he gains power, what's he going to do about it? How? If he's gaining power on the strength of the 1999 Constitution, without having mobilized the Nigerian people around the idea of a restructuring that he has placed on paper and galvanized them behind, how is he going to get this den of robbers called the Nigerian Senate or the Congress of baboons called the House of Reps? How is he supposed to be getting any one of those ones to take away the foundation for the food they are eating? They just spend billions to get into office, and you expect them to, or is he going to plan a military coup? The only way anybody can change the system is to engage the electoral process, let the people know and mobilize them behind your plan. But if...
Well, after saying all this, yet he is supporting a one Nigeria. When he knows that that constitution, people are protecting it with the last. If it isn't because of that constitution that people are being killed, it is because of that constitution that terrorists have taken over the north. The Fulani herdsmen are killing the southern part of Nigeria. And nobody is willing to address it. When you speak about it, they are saying you are too extreme. How long shall we continue to deceive ourselves? How long shall we continue to look into injustice? May Chukwu Okike guide and save every one of us from this calamity. How can you look at now? There was a video I saw. I saw a video in the conventional media where they were saying that the contraption called Nigeria imported unadulterated petroleum, unadulterated fuel for people to use. Just imagine. This is the mineral resources in Nigeria. They will take it from Nigeria, go outside and refine it. Even after refining it, they will not bring the original one. They will now adulterate it and bring back to their own people. What wickedness. And their conventional media, their NNPC confirmed it, that an adulterated fuel was brought into Nigeria. An adulterated petroleum was brought into Nigeria. Some mineral resources you have, you take it outside to refine it. On bringing it, you bring an adulterated one. And you think that that country will survive. It will never ever survive. Stop deceiving yourself. Stop deceiving yourself. And I thank God for Chukwu Okike. The Biafrans are not sleeping anymore. The Biafrans are very much awake. Our eyes are open. Our eyes are open. And when you see Biafrans crying and shouting, for those of you who think that Biafran people are being domineering, we are not being domineering. We simply don't want to be slave anymore. We don't want to be slave. We are not born slave. We are born as king and we want to remain as a king. That is why we cannot keep silent. The Biafran people are born as king. That is why Chukwu Okike brought them into this planet Earth as king, gave them all the necessary resources for them to survive, gave them, including the brain, and they will never stay down. And for people who don't want to improve themselves, they see our effort and our hard work as being domineering. They are seeing the hard work of the Biafran people as being domineering. It is so sad. It is so sad. Instead of encouraging or learning from that hard work or trying to go into a healthy competition to see how they improve themselves, what did they do? They Janjaweed preach that gospel that the Biafran people are domineering. And today, so many people buy into that idea of domineering. It has sunk into so many people's brain that each time they see a Biafran person, they see you as a threat. Simply because you are intelligent. Simply because you cannot beg. Simply because you can't stay down. Simply because you see yourself as a king. You realize and you recognize yourself as a king. They feel threatened each time they see you as a Biafran. We didn't give back to ourselves as Biafrans. We didn't create ourselves. It was Chukwu Okike that created every Biafran person. We cannot change whom we are. We are hardworking. We don't depend on people. We try to improve ourselves by all means possible, and we don't stay down. That doesn't translate to being domineering. We have not gone to any person's house with AK-47 to take their land. We have not arrested anybody with AK-47 to demand for ransom. We have not got to dominate anybody. We are only working hard to walk and step up ahead of others through hard work. How do you translate hard work to being domineering? Recently, I saw a video, a very shocking video. You have seen they have taken that language of domineering into the church. This is why some people are attacking Christianity, talking hell about Christianity. When you see some people, they become so emotional that they begin to attack Christianity. But I don't attack Christianity because I know the Christianity is not the problem, but the people who are Christian, who are running that religion, the people who are in power, who claim to be Christian, they are the people you have to blame. Some of them still have that mentality in their head. Even though they claim to be born again, they still have mentality of the Janjaweed, that evil seed that Janjaweed have planted on them, to look down on other people, to see people as threats, is still in their head. That is why a reverend father recently have come to bound singing Igbo song in a church. Unbelievable. saying that Igbo song is dominating the church. Unbelievable. A reverend father banning singing Igbo song in the church. Is it not a shame? This is how to show you the damage that the Janjaweed have done in the mindset of people. That some people do not want to let go of that mentality that the Janjaweed have put in their head. Even though they are a Christian, even though they are Muslim, no matter what their religion is, no matter what their tribe is, that mentality is still in their head. If this, it includes every tribe, there are still some Biafran who still have that Janjaweed mentality in their head. There are still some Oduduwa people who still have that Janjaweed mentality in their head. There are Northerners who have that Janjaweed mentality in their head. They are everywhere. They are of all religion. The damage that the caliphate have done in the brain of so many people, and they cannot let go. They can't let go. That is why a reverend father will come and say that he banned the use of Igbo songs in the church. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at those of us who are abroad. Those of us who are abroad, even the people, reverend father, people who are in the church would encourage you to use your own language. They will encourage you when they see you speak your language, when they hear a song with your language, they will even buy to the answer. Even they will get engaged to the song more than when you use the English language. But in Biafra land, in the Janjaweed country, in that company called Nigeria, they see Igbo language as a threat. You see, that is the reason why you see so many Igbos. They are even scared of speaking their language. Some Igbos don't even use their language. They speak English throughout. Even when you talk to your fellow Igbo person, he'll be using English to speak. Some of them who have been convinced, some of them who have been threatened, they begin to see Igbo language as a threat. Why must you see the language of another person as a threat? Every church have a role they play. You have a praise and worship group. If you want them to introduce a kind of thing, you want them to reduce the number of songs they sing or whatever, why don't you go to your praise and worship group and tell them, sing this number of songs, sing this number of songs, I'll try to dilute your songs and make sure you include every other person. As simple as that. Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? Go to Igbo land, you will see even in Igbo land, Igbo church, you see in their songs, most of the songs they sing other tribe songs, including other tribe. You will see some Yoruba musicians, even in their church, some Yoruba reference, even Yoruba sisters, when they want to praise, they will use Igbo song to praise. They want to give thanksgiving, they use Igbo song. It doesn't mean that there is no domination, they don't feel threatened. I have seen so many Yorubas who speak Igbo, who use Igbo songs mainly. They prefer singing Igbo songs. I have seen many in choir, in gospel organizations, where you see other tribes, they prefer speaking the other tribes, using the other tribes' songs to speak. You see a Yoruba person, he will prefer using Igbo song. You see an Igbo person, prefer using Yoruba song. You see a Niger person, prefer using a Calabar song. This is how people behave. But when you meet those ones who have that caliphate mentality in their head, they always feel threatened. They see you as a threat. When you speak your language, they see you as a threat. When you do something legitimate, they see you as a threat. When you are progressing, they see you as a threat. When you are progressing, fighting hard and struggling, they see you as being domineering. It is so sad. This is what the caliphate mentality that has occupied the control of Nigeria. More reason why you should pray for the breakup of Nigeria. There is no doubt in the heart of anybody that in that contract of Nigeria, that Igbo people comprises of the 80% of the Christians you have in that contract of Nigeria, they are Igbos. 80%. It is only within the Igbo Biafrans, you will see 99% of Igbos are Christians. 99. I say 99. The other 1% who are claiming to be either idol worshippers or claiming to be other tribe, either Muslim or whatever, they are doing it for their own reason. But 99% of Igbos are Christians. It is only them that have such kind of percentage as Christians. No other tribe. No. Then when you see them, you feel threatened. You feel they are trying to be domineering. How are they domineering? Okay, the Igbo people are not mainly Muslims. You don't see them in such religion. They are not competing with anybody over there. They are not doing anything over there to overtake them. But wherever you see them, they will always give their best. The Biafran people, wherever you see them in action, they will give their best. How is that a threat for you? Why don't you work hard? Why don't you work hard? Have a healthy competition with them if you want to. Have a healthy competition. Have a healthy competition. It is allowed. Go out of your way to find a way to make things better for yourself, or how to improve more than they are doing. How is that domineering? When you see them taking over the economy of the country called Nigeria, you see them as a threat. But when you see them going to serve their master for years, they will be serving for years. You see some people serve for 10 years, 12 years under somebody, and when they settle, they improve. Do you see them coming with empty bag, coming and serve? After a long time, they improve themselves. Then, when they begin to improve and begin to do well, you see them as a threat. Why don't you learn from them? That thing, that the way they are improving, learn from them and apply that strategy and see how it's going to benefit you instead of seeing them as a threat. The only reason why we must have to break up this contraption is because of the evil seed that the caliphate have planted, which you can never take away except you break it up. When you break it up, the Oduduwa people will be their land. Write a constitution that will favor them. Live the way they want to live without any threat, anybody. Without seeing anybody as a threat. The Arewa people will live with the constitution they want without seeing anybody as a threat. The Biafrans will live with the constitution they want without seeing anybody as a threat. The Middle Beltans will live with the constitution they want without seeing anybody as a threat. That is the only way forward. And this is why we must have to continue to call for the breakup of this contraption so that there will be peace. Without that, it is not going to be better. It will never be well. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has offered a solution to the whole problem. Break it up. Self-determination for the people through referendum. That is the only way to go. No matter whom you are, no matter where you come from, no matter the area or the angle you are coming from, continue to demand for the breakup of this contraption. That is the only way forward. May Chukwu continue to guide and protect everyone that has watched this video. Please share this video to all platforms. Share it to family and friends. Let them know the truth. Only the truth can set us free. Be consistent in your request. Self-determination. That is what we are asking for. Nothing more. We are not asking for any presidency of any sort. Igbo presidency, Hausa presidency, whatever presidency you want to talk about, we don't care about that. All we are asking for is self-determination for the people. That is what we want. And it will surely come. No matter what they do. May Chukwu guide and protect every Oduduwa person, every Middle Beltans. May Chukwu guide and protect Sunday Igboho, secure him and provide him for him very soon. Release him so that he can continue the struggle. May Chukwu guide and protect our Supreme Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Secure him, grant him freedom, give him more revelation, and bring it out to us very, very soon. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter the attack they bring. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, see you again on the next video. Bye.